Hey, yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy DMD here, back once again with another Starfield video for you. And today I thought it would be cool to make a video about your first character in Starfield. I've seen some people talking about how they don't feel like they can or don't want to do certain quest lines because it doesn't fit with their character. I thought I could talk about how to deal with that on your first playthrough. Starfield is a huge game with many different paths for your character to choose, and it can be tough for new players to decide on what they should do. Obviously, I'm not an expert on any of this, and it's all subjective stuff here, so keep that in mind. Also, thank you all so much again for all the recent support on my videos. It really means the world to me. It really warms my heart with all the kind words and love for Starfield in the comments. It's truly awesome. Thank you so much. Alright, let's get into it. This is how to roleplay your first character in Starfield. Tip number 1. Choose a moldable background. If you are new to RPGs, the character creation part of the game can be a little overwhelming. Right from the start, you have choices galore and skill pathing to figure out. Where on Earth do you even begin? Well, you won't begin on Earth, but after you fidget around with the sliders and get you looking dapper, the first thing I think about is, what does my character do? In Starfield, they have a background system to help point you in a direction, which is something I absolutely love and believe should be standard in Bethesda RPGs going forward. Anyways, I always think for a first character, it's a good idea to pick a background that is moldable. For instance, I started with the background of Ronin. A wandering Ronin, who used to be a sword for hire, is a perfect starting point and is extremely moldable. With that background, I can literally do any questline in the game and not feel like I'm doing something my character wouldn't do. That's just one example, but you could come up with a neutral character for just about every background. Another example is you could pick the medic background and say you're a traveling nurse or doctor or whatever the hell. Try and pick something that can fit in everywhere, in every situation. That way, if you do end up wanting to do all the quest lines on that character, you can do so guilt-free because everything's a logical fit in some way to your background. Does that make any sense? I don't know. Just be a little more open-ended during character creation on the first go-around. And then when you do another playthrough, you can get really specific with it. And then you can fully enjoy yourself knowing you aren't leaving anything behind you haven't seen that you want to see. Tip number 2. Pick traits to fill in the gaps. In Starfield, there are plenty of solid traits to pick from, and a few of them come with bonuses or different things that can help round out your character's story with a little legwork involved. For example, I think you should definitely pick the traits like introvert or extrovert, or raised enlightened, or sanctum sanctorum, or kid stuff, neon street rat, UC kid, freestar kid, whatever. I don't know exactly what they're called, but those kind of traits. These kind of traits can really help you put a picture together of exactly who your character is, and it just adds a ton of flavor in the game when you're raised enlightened and you see, some sanctum dorks talking their nonsense in New Atlantis, or you're a neon street rat and you're going home for the first time. It's little stuff like that that goes a long way in creating a character that feels true to what you want to do, but also just makes the game all that more immersive. If it's up to me, I'm definitely choosing at least one of the above background traits for the first character, and I definitely think you should too. Tip number 3. Backstory. This one's completely optional, but coming up with a good backstory for your character is a great way to immerse yourself in the game. Use the traits you picked to help you. That's what they're there for. That's why earlier I said you guys should pick one of the more RP style traits. These really help form a story in your mind. For example, I picked Neon Street Rat as one of my background traits and used that to come up with a little story to complement it. I was born to Aurora addicted parents who didn't want a kid. I was orphaned at a young age, and once I was too old for the orphanage, I lived on the streets. Struggling to survive, I illegally boarded a spaceship headed to God's nowhere. They found me stowed away and put me to work. The spaceship was owned by Argus extractors. That's it. That's really all you need to get going and get yourself invested in your character. I didn't write anything special or unique or anything, just a small little tidbit that explains why I'm a Neon Street Rat and why I'm mining for Argus at the start of the game. Boom, done. When mod support is introduced on consoles, the sky will really be the limit, as I'm sure there are already alternate start mods out there. You can come up with unlimited stories for just about every background and every trait in the game. Use them to your advantage. Do it. Tip number 4. Choose your combat style. This is an obvious one, but in Starfield, if you're planning on putting points into the combat skill trees, it would be wise to choose exactly what kind of combat you want to do. This affects more than just what you're shooting. It can also save you precious inventory space when you're out in the Starfield, and believe me, that's important. If you know what you're about, you'll know what guns you can leave behind. This isn't a choice that I think needs to be made right as you're creating your character, but it's definitely something you should keep in the back of your head so you can spend those skill points in the best way for you. Do you want to use pistols, rifles, snipers? You want to blow shit up? There's skills in the tree for all of these, and if you want to max them out at 4 points a pop, you can see how having a good idea of what you want to do can help with point allocation. You can even help write your story based on the weapons that you want to use. Maybe you're an assassin who likes to use long-range suppressed sniper rifles. Maybe you're a cowboy and you only use pistols. There's so many different things that you can do, even with just picking what kind of combat you want to do. Tip number 5. This is a simple one. Don't listen to me if none of this resonates with you at all. If you have an ironclad process already, that's awesome. Ignore my shit, keep doing you. Just do whatever's gonna be the most fun. That's really the number 1 tip for all my videos. If something I say doesn't jive with you, then ignore it. All I want to do is try and help newer Starfield players get into the game. Everybody's different, everybody likes different things, so I know my tips are gonna help everyone. But just ignore me. If that's the case, just ignore it. Alright everybody, that's what I've got for you today. Hope this video can help some of you out in some capacity. Let me know down in the comments what kind of characters you guys have made so far. What are your backstories? I'd love to hear what you've been creating, as long as it's spoiler free. Thank you all for watching, and thank you all so much for the support. Consider giving your boy a like and subscribe if you would. It'd mean the absolute world to me. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Be safe, be kind, be a good person. Au revoir.